Should Mansoor Delane go in the top 10? Has Jermod McCoy's stock taken a hit? We're here to look at all of it in our 2026 NFL Draft Cornerback rankings. If you're new around here, hit the subscribe button and let's get into it. Yes, welcome to the Draft Talk podcast where we talk all things NFL Draft. I'm Owain, that's Stu, and today we're ranking the top cornerbacks in the 2026 NFL Draft class. And it's an interesting group, a potential top 10 pick at the top, a strong debate about a certain Tennessee corner, and a tight cluster of day 2 players where the order is far from settled. I'm in hosting today, as I said, with Stu, missing Brian due to the birth of his little girl. Congratulations, Brian. I'm sure Stu echoes that. Stu, how are you, mate? What's your early reading on this cornerback class? And I'm sure you want to say congratulations too.
Yeah, first off, congratulations to our good friend Brian. I hope all's doing well with the family. I'm sure they are. Cornerback wise, though, which is why we're here. Yeah, really interesting group. Few players, I think, that will go maybe a little bit higher than we think as well. Once one goes off the board, I think we might see a run there. There is a few guys who will be day one contributors as well. It's looking like quite a decent group, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely echo that. I think there's a host of names who could well go in round one. It could be that the class is so good that some of them will end up sliding into day 2, and I think there'll be a run on corners early on day 2, which will make the class very interesting. We've been away for a couple of weeks now, a couple of different things. Stu, you're still sounding a little bit hoarse, mate, I have to be honest. Hopefully it holds up. We cancelled last week because Stu lost his voice completely, so we'll see. Hopefully it holds up here. You could hear it going a little bit there already.
Yeah, no, it's all good. We should see this one out. I'm now at the point that I sound worse than I feel, which is a good place to be compared to last week. So we'll get on by.
Yeah, 90% match fit. But let's get into it then. If you're new around here, both myself and Stu will give our top 5 corners in the 2026 class from 5 through to 1. We haven't seen each other's rankings. We don't know each other's rankings, so our reactions are completely live. Stu, let's kick us off then. Who's your number 5 corner?
Yeah, this is the one that I've really struggled on. I've flip-flopped a little bit over time, but eventually I've settled on Chris Johnson, the cornerback from San Diego State. Um, for me, he is someone that's maybe been a little bit quieter, but is starting to maybe creep up things a little bit
100%.
now. Um, Really, really good zone coverage corner. He's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. He in 2024, all of his interceptions came in zone, and the quarterbacks really struggled when thrown against him in zone. He processes information at the line of scrimmage really well. He really is someone who likes to watch the quarterback's eyes, and he can really jump those throws with conviction. He's got really good hips. He can turn, flip, and goes with the receivers really quickly. A real ball hawking type of corner. He's active at the catch point. He's got really good timing with his hands. Combine athleticism showed up there as well. 4.4 in the 40, 38-inch vert and a 10.6 broad jump. So there's no real concerns there. I think he's a really good tackler as well. He only missed 3 tackles last year. He has played mostly on the boundary, but he can slide into the slot, and he's took some box reps as well. And I think he's really disciplined, and he doesn't bite easily on those false releases. Maybe a bit on the light side, and does struggle when he has to stack and shed blocks. When he's against some of the more bigger physical receivers, that's maybe when he struggles. And I think he needs to be a little bit more aggressive at the release point if he's in a bit more press.
Yeah.
His competition level isn't maybe where some of the other guys as well, and there is going to be a jump when you're facing the NFL, but I think he's got all the tools to do well at the next level.
Yeah, 100%. I'm a really big Chris Johnson fan. I also have him at 5. I have him as a top 35 player in this class. I absolutely love him. The competitive nature on him, he's an absolute dog. I absolutely love this type of corner where he's productive, he's competitive. There was some question marks on the tape about the long speed, but he's verified that at the combine, so that's absolutely no problem. He's kind of checked that box a bit like Jacob Rodriguez has at linebacker. Like, that'll just skyrocket his stock now because he's checked that box. And yeah, I think he projects as a kind of an early round outside starter whose combine performance there has finally put a kind of a line
Yeah, I think that's where
under
the
that
questions,
athletic
wasn't it? You know,
profile.
there was is he athletic enough? But
Yeah,
yeah, he's plenty athletic.
yeah, absolutely. And it means that his competitive advantage allows him to stay in phase on those deep threats. I'm not sure the tape necessarily matched the speed that I saw at the combine, so we'll see how that translates. But if you talk about the playing with the right temperament at the position, that his ability with the initial contact at the line to disrupt timing, and then shows enough patience and then foot quickness as well to avoid lunging. In off man, he maintains his cushion, maintains discipline. Ball production, he naturally finds the football. Was it four interceptions in 2025, 2 pick-sixes, allowed 10.3 yards per reception. His passer rating allowed when targeted was 16.1. That led all cornerbacks, all draft prospects, sorry, at the college level, and that's by a significant margin as well. The next number 2 on that list is Mansoor Delane, with 31.3, and I imagine he's going to feature very highly on this list. So he just, when he's a lockdown corner when he's targeted, and say he's got the production, he's got the physical run support as well, the competitive nature, the competitive edge, the effort. Really liked what I saw from him. As occasional grabs and maybe the processing of complex routes, and there's maybe late diagnosing during routes sometimes, and the level of competition is obviously always going to be a question mark when you're playing in the Mountain West. But in terms of an ascending boundary corner who's verified that athletic ability, I think he's got a really solid case to be an early round selection. I think I don't think he'll be a round 1 guy, but I could see a team picking him up early on day 2 and being very comfortable with playing him at 6 foot 193. He just ticks all the boxes for me.
Yeah, I was quite glad we saw him the same, because he was someone that kind of flip-flopped about on him, and I wasn't quite sure he was going to go for 5, but I think he just stood out a little bit more than some of the other guys for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 4 then. I'll go on this one, shall I? If you've taken Chris Johnson, yeah. The number 4 cornerback for me is Colton Hood from Tennessee, another corner who's 6 foot, 193 pound, and a boundary corner who has the ability to be a CB1 at the next level, who wins in press man and wins in the coverage versatility. I think he'll be an immediate starter at the NFL level. 50 tackles, 1 interception, 8 pass breakups. Last season allowed only 28 receptions across the season. Just a sturdy, fluid, balanced, sturdy corner. It's really difficult to find weaknesses in his game. He just does everything at a really solid, smooth, fluid level. In terms of athleticism, he's a glider. He has proven competitiveness as well. I just think he's got the translatable athleticism, as well as kind of the first round outside starter ability that you would expect for a corner being talking about in kind of the 20 to 32 range. So I think, yeah, he'll certainly be able to anchor a perimeter role at the next level. Pro ready, playing in the SEC, well built as well for an outside corner, as I said, 6 foot, 193 pounds. Got the foundation to play press man as well. Patient at the line, strikes with controlled timing, long speed and long strides to efficiency stay in phase on fades and posts, and in his control to maintain cushion and understand route leverage as well. I thought was really, really good. Weaknesses, I didn't think his transitions were maybe as sharp as it need to be. Say he's more smooth than sudden, and so I don't think he has that elite twitchy athletic upside. But in terms of smooth mover, who's consistently dominated, and he's more steady than a game takeover. But in terms of being able to slot him in, I think he would be a day 1 starter at the next level, and certainly envision him going in round 1.
Yeah, he's also number 4 for me as well.
Yeah.
He is a bit of the opposite of Chris Johnson, that he lives in press man. He likes to be right up in the receiver's face. And if he gets his hands on it, particularly with that 2-handed jam, he really disrupts the timing and keeps him getting off clean off the line. He's a real fighter at that line of scrimmage. He really enjoys that part of the game. He's got really good ball production. He seems to be there when it matters most. His speed, he's got no concerns about his speed. He's measured well in that side, and he can close the window down very quickly. He's only a 1 year starter, but his diagnosing at the snap is pretty decent. He reads the receivers' releases and the formation cues pretty well. He's a really fiery, competitive, as I've said before. His Senior Bowl reps against some of the top wideouts were quite interesting to watch. Um, he has played in various alignments, but I think he probably will be on the boundary more. So
Yeah.
I think that's where he's really good. Um, Tackling, I think he could clean up his tackling a little bit. He tends to lunge a little bit more at the feet and go in with the shoulder rather than kind of wrap people up. But he's willing and he's able to do so. Um, he's only had a one full season as a full workload, so there is less to see of him than maybe some of the others. But I think there's more than enough. He's still a young prospect. I think he's going to be 21 in his rookie season, so there's plenty of time for him to grow. Yeah, I think that he is someone who probably will go towards that from kind of 20 to 32 range somewhere in the first round.
Yeah, and he's a player who's bounced around a bit as well. Was at Auburn, then at Colorado, then transfers to Tennessee where he has his breakout season. 28 receptions allowed, 11.4 yards allowed per reception. Just an exceptional year. Say as a pair of Tennessee, he's probably with Jermod McCoy missing the season, has been able to kind of fill in that role, and that's probably helped him during this process as well. Number 3 then. Who have you got number 3?
I have Avieon Terrell from Clemson.
Yeah.
Is the number 3 for me.
Yeah, same.
Okay, so we're
Yeah.
we're going to hit it. We're going to hit that 5.
I think
It's never been done.
I think this could be the day.
Be it. Yeah. So Avieon Terrell is a cornerback from Clemson. I think he is really good in zone as well, and I think his eyes are really, really good. He's jumps routes really well, and he reads concept as well as the receivers. Forced fumbles is a big thing for him. He's had 8 since he's been at Clemson, and that is technique. He's really, really good at it, and it's something that he's learned to do. Not just punching the ball out, but he can rip the ball out from the ball handler as well. His flip at the top of a route is really clean. He stays connected with the receivers really well. He's got really good ball tracking as well. I wonder if I couldn't really see much if he's played a much receiver in his really younger days, but he does have that kind of ability to track the ball well in the air. He's a bit of a dog. He likes to have a bit of a jaw jack with the wide receivers as well, which I like in the corners. He's moved around a lot in Clemson, so picking up a playbook won't be too difficult for him. He's a willing run defender as well. He's really keen to mix it up, and that closing speed, he closes the gaps really well. Not the biggest guy, and he will be, against some of those big, long-armed receivers, he's going to struggle no matter how hard he tries. He can be grabby when he loses his position. We see that a lot with young corners, and the route runners who are savvy, will be happy to take the penalties. Again, tackling, as he's willing, but he sometimes arm tackles a little bit. And his short zone recognition is probably where he struggles. He sometimes jumps routes beautifully, but then he can be just caught a little bit flat-footed. But for me, I think there's a lot to like in his play, and I think that he's one of the best corners we've looked at in this draft. Although he's not quite up to the top part of the top 2, I think there's going to be plenty of teams that are going to be sniffing around him in that mid-first round.
Yeah, I also like him. He's my 3rd ranked corner as well. Just a competitive, technically sound corner who's sticky through coverage, who projects as a kind of a versatile, undefined role boundary defender. Because I say that because he's got an outside only profile, but I think because of his physical limitations, there'll be a lot of people want him to play him from the slot and from the nickel. But he is quick-footed. He's disciplined and off man, so he's sticky through the routes as well, but not necessarily explosive. I think he's quick-footed, which allows him to stay attached early during routes, and he's able to mirror and release effectively because of that, and maintain it through the phase. And he understands leverage and how to funnel routes, and that helps him. He's not chasing shadows as such. He's staying with routes, and he rarely gives up clean early separation. He does stick there, and he reads route combinations really well. and doesn't overreact at the catch points where he's composed down the field. I would say he is undersized, 5'11", 186 pounds. Which, you know, kind of that lean build will limit his play strength, and that just show up at the catch point where you think there are some interceptions that are probably left on the table. And he's got limited twitchy athleticism and doesn't necessarily have the closing burst either. So he's quick rather than explosive is how I framed it, where he lacks that sudden downhill trigger. And so I don't think he's necessarily rugged enough to consistently handle that playing through traffic as a nickel. So I'm a little bit torn as to what exactly to do with Avieon Terrell, but the tape's exceptional for even the 2025 tape, which we haven't said a lot of for Clemson players. There's been a downhill trajectory for a lot of Clemson players, and Avieon Terrell's amongst them because he was expected to challenge for CB1 in this class, but he's been able to maintain that high level of play. So yeah, lacks elite physical traits and athletic traits, but it's just so clean and intelligent and instinctive through routes and in coverage that I think he's worthy of probably a top 20 pick, to be honest. I don't think he's going to go there because there are some concerns over a hamstring injury, that he missed Clemson's pro day at the start of March and then held a private workout where while he was running his first 40-yard dash, pulled up because he'd tweaked something. So that's something to watch out on. It's something to bear in mind if he does start moving down boards, because teams are going to have to reevaluate that. So yeah, something to keep in mind. But as a player, yeah, I would happily spend a top 20 pick on Avieon Terrell.
Yeah.
Quick pause before we get into the rest of the podcast. If you're enjoying these draft conversations, make sure you're subscribed and give the video a like. It's the best way to support the channel. Alright, let's get back to it. Now, is it time for the Jermod McCoy conversation?
Yeah. Is he 2?
Yeah, 2.
Brian, you've missed it. We've done it. I think.
Yeah, well, come on. Yeah, we got Jermod McCoy 2, Mansoor Delane 1.
Yeah, I think this is the first time we've ever done that.
5 years.
How many years is that now? 5 years.
So, and
we've agreed on something.
That is, let's do the maths. 49 rankings that we've done since starting Draft Talk.
Okay.
11 positions.
Okay, I'll believe you.
11 positions. We've got 2 more to do. It's 49. Yeah.
Was there 11 position? What was there? 11 position groups.
So yeah. So we've done what? Yeah. So we've done 11 position groups, 4 years, and then and then we've done. Have we done 9? This is our 9. We've
more
got
than
2 more to do.
Past 50, is it?
So 53. 53. That's I'm bad at maths.
There we go.
Yeah. 53.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you did it because I'm even worse.
I didn't. I did it in my head and got it wrong. That's our 53rd ranking episode, and finally we've got a match.
Yeah, it probably won't happen again for another 53.
But yeah, Jermod McCoy, number 2. Go on. I'll let you start because I've got thoughts.
Oh, it's a difficult to
Very.
be 2, isn't it? I still want him to be 1 as well. His 2024 tape so good.
Yeah.
And I'm still hanging on to that because it's a real concern.
Mm-hmm.
He's had that ACL tear. There's going to be questions about his rookie year. He wasn't at the combine. He hasn't tested anything yet.
He has.
He has.
Have I
missed it?
So today, the day of recording,
I missed it. So I've been busy today. I missed it.
Tuesday, 31st. That's when we're recording this. He's literally just had his pro day. So we've got. So pro day numbers. We've got a 40-yard dash of 4.38, a 38-inch vertical, and a 10.7 or 10'7" broad. So exceptional numbers coming off an ACL. Let's be completely honest.
More than happy. Yeah. So let's rewind a little bit because that testing is more than adequate. Yeah, he's a really good corner, and if he's fit and healthy, he should be a top 10 pick for me.
Yeah.
but our team's going to pick him in that top 10. Once they get their hands on all the medical info, they may well do, because Jermod McCoy was exceptional in 2024 for Tennessee. Um, he's he's scheme versatile. Um, he's instinctive. He's got such a good awareness of spatial relationships, right combinations. He processes information really quickly. Um, his anticipation technique, ball production. He's got a nose for the ball. He's a turnover creator. His coverage, he's sticky in coverage. Um, yeah, there's just everything you would like in a corner, really. He's a real fighter. He's got a dog to him. He's disciplined. Um, he's got a value in the return game. It's For me, it's the injury question. I don't have a lot of negatives to say
Mm-hmm.
about Jermod McCoy. The conversation is going to come down to what people feel about the medicals.
Yeah. If Jermod McCoy had done anything, and I mean anything in 2025, I think he'd be a top 10 pick. The 2024 tape is that good. The problem is
They're
that
so worthy of it.
that his pro day is the first time he's been seen doing anything for 15 months or so, and we know
Yeah.
that he was ready to return during the season for Tennessee. We think with about 5 games to go, but he opted out to focus on draft prep. Fair enough. Players do that all the time these days. And I can understand that if you then do something at the combine, but to opt out for draft prep and then not do anything at the combine just leaves a bit of a sour taste in my mouth. I have to be honest, and that's a personal thing. I think we can all understand why he would opt out coming off an ACL to do the draft prep. I say, and then we thought he was ready, healthy, ready to go. We then gets to Indy to then do absolutely nothing. And honestly, I think it was a really bad decision not to do anything. If it wasn't a bad decision, it was definitely a bad look, because instantly my mind goes to, what is it you're trying to hide? Why would you not come and show everyone, look, I should be a top 10 pick? Because he had everything to gain and everything, nothing really to lose, because he was coming off that ACL. So yeah, I think he had an opportunity there to show teams that I'm still here. And his pro day was exceptional. 4.38 second 40, a 38-inch vertical and a 10'7" broad jump are exceptional numbers coming off an ACL. But my problem is, I still need to work out if I'm a GM or working in a team, I have to work out whether this is my guy or not. And I'm not completely convinced that the talent is there. There's absolutely no doubt. But some decisions this offseason have put enough doubt in my mind, because my biggest issue basically is, if I worked in a front office, is can I trust you? And I just don't know the answer to that clearly yet. And look, he's clearly extremely talented. He's extremely athletic, and hopefully it was just a bit of bad advice that he's taken during the pre-draft process, and that can obviously all be worked out, because the tape in 2024 was exceptional. There's just enough doubt in my mind to think, because if he was at the combine and did anything like those pro day numbers, we're talking about him being in the top 10. So I look at those numbers that have come through today and be like, why didn't you do that in Indy? Because the track was running really quick. You could probably go quicker than that.
Yeah, everyone was flying. There was personal bests all over the shop.
Yeah, so I don't. Maybe we get an interview at some point and we get some answers there. But I still do not understand why he didn't do anything at the combine.
Yeah. Is it a case of that he didn't feel quite ready? Is it that there was something just lingering? Is it bad advice? It's difficult to know. And these teams that we're obviously look on the outside looking in, a lot of these teams will know that. They'll have spoken to people and found out what it is. And someone's going to be comfortable enough with that, and someone's going to take him. And I think some teams might live to regret it further down the line. Who knows? We've seen it before. These pre-draft questions, and then when they turn to the pros, it all disappears. We have the other ones where it comes crashing down around them as well. So it's a difficult call, but I just can't help get a feeling that someone's going to get a bargain with Jermod McCoy.
Yeah, if he falls past the 12, 13 range, then yeah, then absolutely is at this point. He's kind of fallen out of range for whether it's the Dolphins, Cowboys, that kind of range where you saw him mocked all the time because he's missing the combines. If you'd seen him mock drafts, him kind of fall down the board a little bit. He's going to be back up there with those pro day numbers, but we also know you do have to take pro day numbers with a pinch of salt. It's why you see them all the scouts at the combine with their stop clocks and stopwatches and not going by the laser times, because they want to correspond their hand time to what they see at the pro days. So yeah, really interesting. But in terms of the player, physical, catch point timing, competitive, able to carry vertical routes. He has everything. The 2024, I can't say enough, is exceptional. If he'd done anything like that in 2025, I think we're talking about the top corner in the class. But he clearly just isn't. There's enough question marks there to put probably the cleaner projection at number 1. So that'll be number 1, Mansoor Delane.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, Mansoor Delane for me. So, yeah, Mansoor Delane could have come out last year and been picked in the mid-round somewhere.
Yeah, round 3-ish.
He made that a risk, a calculated decision, I think, to go to LSU and test himself under that SEC competition. And whoa, has it paid off for him this year?
Literally. That LSU money would be very nice, I would have thought.
Yeah, absolutely. And where he's going to get drafted, it's going to give him a bit of a nice amount in his back pocket as well. But he made that decision, and it's turned out to be really good for him. He's somebody who's got really good coverage instincts, and he reads the routes very well. You talked about his passer rating. Essentially, his side of the field turned into a no-fly zone in that SEC. He's got quick twitch hips. He mirrors the receivers really well. He's got 8 career interceptions and 27 passes defended. So his ball production is good there, and he finishes plays when he's in the air. Didn't allow a single touchdown last year against him, and just 2 receptions of over 20 yards the entire season. Really good body control, physical, no penalties against him this year as well. So he's very disciplined in what he does. He obviously was playing a bit more zone at Virginia Tech. He's a bit more aggressive in the man concept at LSU, which he's handled really well. And he's competitive and tough. Below average arm length, could disrupt against some of the taller boundary receivers. He maybe will get caught occasionally being too aggressive with those savvy quarterbacks in their eyes. And he obviously just has to make sure his functional strength is there as well when playing at the NFL level. But he's really instinctive. He anticipates receivers well. I think he's got a bit of everything about him, and it wouldn't surprise me if he goes in the top 10.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think that he more than likely will go in the top 10. I certainly don't see him falling past that 11, 12 kind of axes of the draft.
If he gets to 11, I'm delighted, but I don't think he's there.
No, I don't either. I think it wouldn't surprise me if he's gone before the Chiefs are on the clock at 9, to be honest. Whether it's
wouldn't surprise me if he went at 5.
Yeah, exactly. Then he's so fluid, disciplined, I think is the right word that you said there, Stu, that fluid, phase disciplined, boundary corner, legitimate man coverage tools as well against proven competitiveness. That his value lies in how he's able to stay composed, and he's able to stay connective, and he's not overpowered physically through contact. He's got smooth hip transitions and able to stem vertical routes easily. Length to disrupt at the cash point, although say his arm length was a little bit shorter at the combine, but I didn't see that being a problem. So I thought that the length was more than suitable on tape. It is lean framed, 5'11", 190 pounds. But it's just in terms of fluid is the word that I just keep coming back to. That his back pedal, his ability to turn without any stiffness at all, opens his hips up naturally to stay in phase without grabbing. Mirrors double moves easily. In press, he's able to be patient. He stays square at the line. He avoids lunging. Mirrors releases really well. At the catch point, he's able to use the the suitable and the quiet length, to contest and use his hands rather than his body to disrupt the ball, and he's got that timing as well to be able to shrink throwing windows, make them smaller, and he's obviously got the recovery speed as well, rather than the 4.3s at his pro day when he didn't run at the combine. But yeah, just long strides, instant acceleration, just so smooth, so fluid. So he does maybe play lean, and he's not necessarily sharp in his transitions. They're smooth, and they don't have any stiffness to them, and he stays square. But these maybe he does play lean, and he's more of a consistent disruptor rather than a true ball hawk on every down. But that's because he's rarely targeted. Say only 31.3 passer rating allowed in 2025. So yeah, he's an early first round pick. Don't be surprised if you see his name called in the top 10, and I think you've got an instant starter who's going to be I can't see him being any worse than average for a long time in the NFL. That's the top 5 then. Exactly the same for the first time ever. What did you say? 53 episodes in, finally got the same top 10. Who were you thinking about putting in there?
Yeah, there's the one for me that was just on the outside looking in. There was a couple of guys who I really liked, but Keith Abney.
Yeah, I know you like him.
Yeah, he's a cornerback that I really liked as well, and a couple of other ones who were just probably not in the conversation, but fun. I really like D'Angelo Pons, but he's small.
Would have been number 6 for me.
Fun.
What a player!
Yeah, and Deontay Scott from Miami. He's a slightly different type of corner.
Yeah, nickel.
Plays in that nickel. I really liked watching him when I was actually watching Ruben Bain.
Yeah.
And you watch how much he just blitzed. They just put those two on the same side of scrimmage and went, come on then.
Yeah.
He's that kind of attitude. So those were a couple of guys that I liked. But there's a lot of decent other guys as well. You hear a lot of people speak about Brandon Cisse and Traden Stukes as well with his speed that he showed at the combine. So there's a lot of interesting players a bit further down as well.
Yeah, the nickel class is really good actually. You mentioned Traden Stukes there. I've evaluated him more of a safety actually, but I think he'll be more of a
I could get that
nickel player. The player that I really wanted to speak about was D'Angelo Pons, who you spoke about, 5'8", 174 pounds. I tell you what, if he was 6 foot 190, we'd be talking.
Now you're talking.
Yeah, he would be 1 or 2 in this class, because you're almost infatuated with his tape because he's so hard hitting, he's instinctual, he's explosive. It's just such a natural playmaker and high energy. What can you do with him at 5'8", 174 pounds? I don't know. I suppose there'll be some teams that want to play him at the nickel, but I tell you what, early on day 2, I'd be pounding the table for D'Angelo Pons. Just get him in the room and see what you can do with him, because he's just going to elevate everyone.
Just match him up with a small receiver and just get on with it.
Yeah.
If they've got a small quick receiver, put the Pons on him and you're laughing. But yeah, he was so much fun to watch.
Yeah, and Brandon Cisse is one you didn't really touch on him there. That he would have been 7. He is that 6 foot 189 pounds. He's one of those players who's got everything athletically. He really natural build, natural power, natural body control. I just would have liked him to be more aware and had more anticipation, his processing speed to be able to. He's got everything athletically. He just needs to become more switched on, and I suppose that's
that's exactly the phrase I was going to say. It just needs to but someone teach him how to be more switched on to what's going on around him. I think.
I think it's one of those the classic traits against production, traits versus polish, however you want to frame it. That he's been trusted to play on the outside and to deploy there, but he needs to develop his spatial awareness, is I suppose how to put it play, because he's athletically gifted, and if a team can develop Brandon Cisse into who he can become, that he could be a steal in round 2. Anything else you can think of there?
Yeah, I think we've covered it all. But in all, a pretty good group. Certainly one I will be keeping my eye on, with Miami having 2 picks in the first round. There's some players certainly could be interested in there because their cornerback room is not up to scratch. So yeah, a group I will definitely be keeping an eye on as closer we get to draft.
What room is up to scratch? We'll leave that. Dolphins 3-round mock draft coming your way. There we have it then. That's our cornerback rankings for the 2026 NFL draft. Before we get out of here, we'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to the YouTube channel and let us know in the comments, who do you have as cornerback 1? Where do you think Jermod McCoy goes in this class? Let us know in the comments. We've got safeties up next, so you want to make sure you're around for that. So make sure you join us next time where we'll be talking some more draft talk.